Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you've never seen me before, my name is Sam. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, and despite the title of this video, I don't want you guys to think like, oh, here we go, just another entitled hairstylist that's gonna sit here and bitch about not getting paid enough money for stuff. Those of you who do know me know that I have only been doing hair for about 1.5 years now professionally in a salon. So before ever going to beauty school, I was someone that was always interested in hair. I would do it myself at home, and I would go to a salon occasionally, but I honestly had this weird thing with going to hair salons. I felt like I never had good communication with my hairstylist, and I always had anxiety about them either messing up my hair or the price. That was a big one. So my goal on here is to just kind of like knock down that wall between clients and hairstylists, because I feel like all of the tension that I have witnessed between the two really just comes down to lack of understanding and bad communication. So I kind of want to talk to the non-hairstylists from a hairstylist perspective, but then also talk to the stylist and future stylists from a client perspective, and hopefully just kind of like bring both sides together so that we can all kind of be on the same page. And this topic in particular, I really wanted to talk about because I feel like it is a huge one when it comes to like that tension. So when it comes to pricing, the first thing I want to say right off the bat is stylists need to be upfront about how much their services are going to cost. There have been many times as a client, I would sit and get my hair done, and then when I would go up to the front desk to pay, I was totally shocked by what my total was. It was not at all what I was expecting. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. You know, you go to a salon and maybe they do have their prices listed, and in your mind you think, oh, okay, I just want like a root retouch, so that's just gonna be like 50 bucks. Okay, sounds great. And then you sit down and you consult with your stylist and you tell them what you want, and your stylist sees that like you have a whole bunch of highlights, so they're like, okay, I'm gonna touch up those highlights at the root, a root retouch, but really to them it's like a full head of highlights, and so then they end up charging you like $150 or something, and then you go up to pay thinking you're gonna pay $50, but it's actually 3 times as much as what you were expecting. I feel like that used to happen to me quite a lot. And actually, I have 2 stories now that I think about it. So when I was in college, there was this little salon on our campus, and they had a big sign outside that said $10 haircuts for students. I was having a really bad week and I was like, oh my God, that'll be awesome. I'll just go get a little trim and it'll be nice just to treat myself. Because from my experience, the only places I had ever gone to go get a haircut was at chain salons, and there it's like one set price for a haircut, and they always shampoo you and blow you out and stuff at the end. So I went in and I said I wanted a haircut, and the girl's like, oh, okay, do you want me to shampoo you first? And I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm here for. So she's shampooing me, and then she asks if I want conditioner. Like, yeah. So then she brings me over and she starts cutting my hair, and as she's cutting my hair, I like notice a little sign on the wall that has like all of these prices, and it's like every little individual thing is a separate price. So like shampooing, conditioner, like literally every little thing. So then when she was done with the cut, I found out that it was going to be extra to blow dry me, and I was like, oh my God. So I ended up leaving there, okay, thinking I was getting a $10 haircut, and I ended up paying $30 and left with my hair soaking wet, because I didn't want to pay an extra like, you know, 15 or whatever it was just to get it blow dried. And would that have been an absurd price for, you know, a wash, cut, and blowout? No. But because they were advertising it as $10 and they weren't clear about all of the other little things costing extra, like I guess the $10 was just if you walked in, they dry cut you and you left, and that's it. I was pretty pissed after that. And I just think that that's not cool. Like as a stylist, you should talk to your client, and if you're gonna offer them something, you should let them know that that's gonna be extra. And maybe in your mind as a stylist, you're like, well, yeah, of course those things are gonna cost extra, but a client is not necessarily gonna know that. There was another time too, a few years ago, where I was going to the salon to get my eyelash extensions done. I was always going to the same girl, and I decided one day, like, let me treat myself a little bit, let me get a haircut. I was like in desperate need for a trim, so I booked a haircut with her. And I knew like this was a more high-end salon, and so I figured it was gonna be a little bit more expensive than my usual $20 holiday haircut. But I'm thinking like, oh, it'll probably be like maybe $30. So when I went to go pay, it was like 55 or 60 or something like that. And of course I didn't say anything, like I'm not that kind of person. I think it's very rude to make a stink about someone's prices, which I will get into a little bit later, but it really shocked me. Like I was totally not expecting it to cost that much. And at that particular salon, all of the stylists had different prices for their services because some people were like a little bit more advanced. And I think depending on like, you know, how many classes you went to that year, like I think they were able to kind of determine their own prices. So it's not even like I could have found the information online somewhere or something like that. And she never told me. Should I have asked? Yes. But sometimes you feel awkward asking and talking about money. And I don't know, it's almost like if you ask, you know, you don't want to seem cheap, or you don't want the stylist to be like, you can't afford this, or like, I don't know. Sometimes it's a little awkward. So like, I totally understand that. And I really truly think that it should be the stylist's responsibility to discuss that in the consultation. Now, obviously being a hairstylist, I understand why her prices were what they were, but I do think that it's really wrong to have your client be surprised when they're going to pay. So at my salon, we always discuss budget and price and everything in the consultation. And me personally, especially if I'm doing a consultation for color, like someone wants to get their hair colored, I always include take-home products with their budget. So if they tell me they're only looking to spend $200 that day, I consider, okay, well, they definitely need a shampoo and a conditioner to take home. So I'm gonna take that first and foremost out of that $200. And then what am I gonna be left to work with as far as like doing their hair? Because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna spend like 4 hours doing your color and then you're gonna go home and wash it with Suave. No. But that's another thing that would happen to me a lot too. I would go to a salon, I'd get my hair done, whatever, and it would be whatever the price was, and then they would try to like push these products on me that were even more expensive, and it would just end up being way more than what I was looking or expecting to spend. So now as a stylist, I always make sure I ask them, okay, well, what is your budget? What are you looking to spend? And then from there, I let them know what we can do with that budget. And if their end hair is gonna require more than that, then we'll talk about like, you know, how many more appointments they're gonna need to book in the future in order to achieve their end goal. But I always just like to be as upfront as possible. And I know as stylists, especially when you're doing color, you can't always guess like an exact price because sometimes they might have more hair than you realize, and so you need to grab an extra bowl of color, or maybe their hair didn't really take to the toner, so you need a second toner or something like that. There can be little extra things here and there as you are doing their hair, but you can at least give them like a price range so that they know what to expect. And also, this is another little tip for my stylist friends out there. You shouldn't shame your client for having an unrealistic budget. So a lot of the times people will come in and, for example, they'll have like really dark brown hair and they show me a picture of like this super, super cool, ashy, like light blonde hair. And then they tell me that their budget is like $80 or something. And that's not gonna happen. Like that's just, it's not enough. The amount of product and the amount of time that it's gonna take, first of all, that example probably wouldn't happen in one appointment anyway, but that's just like, that's not enough money for such a big transformation like that. Not to mention, you're gonna need good take-home products to maintain that color. You're gonna need to come in to get it like retoned, reglossed, etc. You're probably gonna need a trim. There's more that goes into maintaining it after like the initial appointment as well, which is another thing that I think you should discuss in the consultation, because I think a lot of the times people think they're gonna go in and just get their hair colored that one day and pay that one price and that's it, and they're gonna be good to go. And they don't realize when it comes to color that, you know, there's upkeep to it. You know, you have to invest. It costs money to have beautiful color. But as a hairstylist, if someone tells me that that's the color that they want done and they only have $80 and they think that's gonna be enough, like, yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm kind of laughing at that. Like, are you serious? But you can't act that way. You can't shame them or make fun of them because, yeah, to you as a stylist, you understand how much work is gonna go into doing that transformation. But as a client, they don't necessarily know that. And shaming them and making them feel embarrassed is not going to make them trust you or, you know, feel comfortable with you. So I think that education is very important. You want to educate your client and explain to them what the whole process is going to entail, what needs to be used, what's going to be done, you know, all of the phases that they're going to have to go through in order to achieve their goal. So that way they understand, like, it's not as simple as just slapping one color on and bam, you're blonde. You know, you have to understand that people who don't do hair for a living and don't understand hair, they don't know what goes into it. They don't realize that it's a lot more complicated and a much longer process. Now, on the flip side though, as a stylist, I do have a few, like, I don't know if I want to say pet peeves, but just like things that I want to explain, I guess. So that $60 haircut, for example, right? Okay, I was going to a chain salon and I was paying $20, but now this place is charging $60. Like, wow, that's a big difference. And it's not like I was getting a complicated haircut. Like in both instances, I was just getting a trim. And this is no shade to anyone who works in a chain salon at all whatsoever. But chain salons, their whole goal is to get people in and out. You know, it's quantity over quality. All of the services there, like there's a set amount of time that they need people in and out of the chair. You're not gonna walk into a chain salon and get offered like some wine and a nice head massage, like all these little extra nice things. It's not really supposed to be like a really nice, luxurious experience. It's just get in, get your hair cut, leave. Whereas this high-end private salon, first of all, it's not owned by a corporation. It's literally just owned by one person. So that price I'm paying for the haircut is not just for the haircut itself. Like, at least half of that is going towards like the business as a whole. So like the actual salon itself, the rent, the electric bill, the phone bill, the internet bill, the water, the gas, the garbage, the furniture in the salon, like the nice, fancy, comfortable chairs, the wine that they're serving me, the assistants that are working there, the cost of just supplying that color and the shampoo and conditioner and all the styling products. It's a lot of money. And then also this stylist, like she really has invested a lot in her craft and in being a really good cutter. She goes to classes, she's had additional training and additional education. She's invested in a really good high quality pair of shears, which by the way, scissors that are used to cut hair are expensive. They range anywhere from like hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars. Like, it's pricey. And then not to mention too, in order to even get your license in the first place, you have to go to school, and that's freaking expensive. Like right now, cosmetology school in the United States is like 20 grand, and the price just keeps going up every year. So you're paying for the experience, the atmosphere, and the higher quality service. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, it's just hair. It's just a haircut. It's not even that big of a deal. Like, oh my God, anyone can do that. Like, well, first of all, no, not anyone can do that, because if anyone could do that, then everyone would do it. If you think it's so easy, why are you coming in to the salon to get it done? Like, do it yourself at home then. And even if you can do it yourself, you want someone else to do it for you. So yeah, you have to pay for that. It's a service. Also, something that I have just learned the older I'm getting is that you really get what you pay for in this world. And that doesn't just go for hair. That goes literally for anything. If something is a lot cheaper, there's probably a reason. And you have to take in consideration too, like not all stylists are the same. So just because you have two people who are licensed hairstylists doesn't mean that they are completely equal or that their skill level is the same. Like, yeah, we all went to cosmetology school, but first of all, not all schools are the same. They all have their own different curriculum. Cosmetology school also teaches you like such basic stuff. In order to get really, really good at what you do, you need to invest money in going and taking classes, time in just practicing and doing it over and over and over and really like perfecting your technique. So say you have this person that's very stagnant in their career, they don't go and take any classes, they don't further their education in any way, they're not spending extra time outside of work practicing anything. So yeah, maybe they can do your hair color for like $80. And then you have this other stylist over here that goes to like 7 classes a year and is always like coming in on their day off or staying late to just practice and get better at what they do. So yeah, their prices for color should be higher because they're investing more time and money. And as a result, their work is probably gonna be a lot better. And I understand that the cost of hair, especially hair color, can get really pricey, and it does just seem like the prices keep going up and up and up. And the reality is, yeah, prices go up. That's the way our economy works. Like the price for food goes up, price for rent goes up, price for gas goes up, and so the price for hair is gonna go up because the prices that we pay to keep the business running are going up as well. The cost for the color and all the products and the rent and the bills and all of that stuff. So the service prices need to go up to accommodate that. And also, I can't speak for every stylist and every salon, but I know a lot of the color that we do, like the balayages and the foliage and all of those kinds of things, they're meant to be more low maintenance colors. They have just like a softer grow out. So you don't have to come and be in the salon every 4 to 6 weeks getting it touched up. It'll last you a few months. If you're getting a color that's gonna last you a lot longer between appointments, yeah, it's gonna cost you more money because you're getting more time between appointments. Also, you have to take into account that it's not always like the final product that you're paying for. Like sometimes you'll see a before and after photo and they might not look dramatically different from each other, but there still could have been like 5 hours of work that went into that transformation because maybe the person had like a whole bunch of box dye in their hair that had to get worked through, and they required a lot of bond builders and extra conditioning treatments and stuff like that throughout the process. And think about the time that goes into a lot of these hair transformations because it's also the time that you're paying for as well. So for example, like I get 50% commission at the salon where I work. If I spend my entire work day working on one person's head of hair, and I'm only charging them like $50, that means that I only made $25 for that whole entire day. That's less than minimum wage. And not only that, like I don't want to sit here and complain and be like, it's so hard and so tiring doing hair. And I know a lot of people who don't do hair are gonna like roll their eyes at that, but it is a really tiring job. And I mean, I love what I do. By no means am I complaining. I changed careers to do this, but it really does take a physical toll on your body. And it is really exhausting because I'm working these long days and I'm usually back to back with clients. So it's rare that I will get a break to like go sit down and eat something or even go to the bathroom to pee. So I feel like a lot of people have this misconception that like, oh, hairstylists just play with hair all day. Like, yes, what I do can be really fun, but there's more that goes into it than just playing with hair. Like a lot of hairstylists have back problems, they get carpal tunnel. And not only that, but what we're doing is a skill. It's something that you have to go to school to learn how to do. It's something that you have to practice to get really good at. And when we're back there mixing up color and formulating everything, it's not as simple as just like, oh, okay, you want to be blonde. Let me grab the blonde hair color and just put that on your hair. Like, no, it is a lot more complicated than that. So stylists out there, you need to really know your worth. If you're investing a lot of time and a lot of money going to classes, practicing, staying after work, coming in on your days off, your prices should be higher. If someone tells you that your prices are too high, or they know so-and-so down the street who will do it a lot cheaper, or they're haggling you for a discount, or just trying to like bully you into charging less, stand your ground because your prices are your prices and you charge what you charge for a reason. And for clients out there, please respect what people charge. Like I said, there's so much more that goes into it and there's reasons why prices are set at what they are. It's not like we're trying to charge a lot of money so that we can go out and live this like fabulous lifestyle. This is our career. This is how we make a living. And even though I absolutely love what I do, it's still work. It is my job. It's not a hobby. And so I need to charge accordingly so that the salon where I work can stay up and running and so that I can pay my bills, basically. And understand too that if someone's prices are too high for you and you can't afford to go get your hair done, you don't have to get your hair done. You know, getting your hair, your lashes, your nails, all these things, these are luxuries. And while I think it's great, I think everyone should invest in self-care and treating themselves. But if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. And you shouldn't try to bully your stylist or make them feel bad or give them a hard time about charging what they charge. So I think that's everything that I want to say on this topic, hopefully. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'd love to have a conversation with you guys. Like I said, I like to see it from both perspectives because I have both perspectives. I've been a client my whole life. I'm still a client now. But as a hairstylist, like, I also see it from that side too. So I just want us to all be on the same page, and I want everyone to just be happy and respectful of each other. If there's any other similar like hair topics that you want me to talk about next, let me know. Also, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button really quick before you go. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.